So inshallah, we'll be answering your questions. So let's see what people have asked. Okay, so we have the first question from Timothy6129. He says, you said that no letter that has a shaddah, which is a double vowel, can start a sentence. May you explain why Surah Kahf, ayah 5, starts with a meme that has a shaddah? Okay, let's answer this. And in fact, if we go to ayah 3, not just 5, also ayah 3, we'll find the same thing. It starts off with a meme with a shaddah. This actually is a tajweed rule, a rule that you learn with Quranic recitation. In actual fact, if we were to recite these ayat from the beginning of them, we would not pronounce the meme with a shaddah. So the ayat would be read, مَاكِثِينَ فِيهِ أَبَدًا, and مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ, مَا لَهُمْ. So in both cases, when you recite them without a shaddah. The question is, why is there a shaddah there though? This is related to the previous ayah and the fact that it ended with a noon sakina. So we spoke about tanween. Tanween is like having a noon at the end of the word that has a sukoon. And there's actually a special rule in tajweed which states that if a word ends with a noon sakina and after it is one of the huruf al-idgham. So meme is actually one of the huruf. It's one of the letters of idgham. So ya, ra, meme, lam, waw, and noon. If those letters come after that noon sakina, then it gets 2 harakat. So let's do this with the ayah in question. We're starting from ayah 4 and continuing on, not stopping at the end of ayah 4, but continuing to ayah 5. So it would be as follows. وَيُنذِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ وَلَا لِآبَائِهِمْ. So notice that the meme has the shaddah when you don't stop at ayah 4, but you continue to ayah 5. And similarly, with ayah 2 to 3, it would be the same as well. So in actual fact, that shaddah is not part of that word, but it's actually there to indicate that idgham is done if one was to not stop on ayah 4. And I hope that answers the question. So thank you, and jazakallah khair for the question. Question from Jack Jill 3205, and it says, why do you write lillah this way and not written with 3 lams? And why is the alif omitted? Okay, so there's a few questions there. So when we have a noun in Arabic, let's take for example the word bait, and we make it definite, it's al-bait. If we want to add a lam to it, say the harf jar, the lam, you do this by omitting the hamzat al-wasl, and you write it this way, lil bait. So the hamzat al-wasl gets dropped. Now, if we do it with another harf jar, for example the ba, and we want to write bil bait, notice something. The hamzat al-wasl remains. So in other words, when a lam joins to a definite noun, the hamzat al-wasl gets dropped. That's the first point. And why does this happen? This is the orthography of Arabic. So this is a rule. This is found in the Mus'haf. So this is what we accept to be authentic. So we've established that the hamzat al-wasl gets dropped. What happens if the actual word starts with the letter lam? As an example, let's take the word layl, night. If we add al of definiteness to it, we get al-layl. Notice here, there's a shadda on the second lam. And why is that? Because this is from huruf al-shamsiyya. So the first lam does not get pronounced. So it will be al-layl. Now, let's add lam to this. What we would expect is to drop the Hamzatul Wasl, and then the lam gets attached to the first lam. So there'll be 3 lams. But in Arabic orthography, this does not happen. You cannot have 3 lams. So what happens in this case is not only does the Hamzatul Wasl get dropped, but the lam also gets dropped. The lam from lam ta'rif. So the definite article, the Hamza and the lam both get dropped. And then we're left with the harf jar lam, and then we're left with the lam mushaddada. That's based on the orthography rules, that we don't have 3 lams together. In a similar way, when it comes to lafz al-jalala with Allah, you can think of the Hamzatul Wasl and then the lam that comes after it as lam al-ta'rif. Now this is always part of the word, except when we add the harf jar, the lam. When this happens, when we add the lam, the alif and lam of lafz al-jalala get dropped. And then the lam gets attached. I hope that's clear, inshallah. And I thank you for the question. Jazakallah khair. So inshallah, feel free to ask any questions. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And don't forget to subscribe.